to the Lone Star Collective podcast, the official podcast of the Texas Cannabis Collective. I'm your host, Gramps Chris Rasolia, and I'm joined this week by our co-host and executive director, Austin Zamhariri, and the one and only Daulton O'Neil of Greenlight Events. Welcome, y'all.
What's going on, Gramps? Happy to be here.
Happy to have you, brother.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's liftoff time, baby. It's liftoff time.
Look at that. Look at that mustache on the man over there. That's pretty fierce. I didn't know.
Man, somebody called me the fat Persian Mario the other day.
Oh, man.
And I was like, hey, leveled up, man. That means I ate the mushroom and got big.
That might fit into your next bid at the Dallas Comedy Center. We'll see.
I might. Maybe something like that for sure.
But man, Fat Mario's here to play, bro.
Yeah. I don't need Luigi either. I don't need any of them. I bring enough fire. I ate the plant, so I got enough fire on me to throw fireballs left and right. All right.
There you go. All right.
Well, so I guess let's welcome Daulton in. Daulton, those of our audience who may not know you, brother, why don't you just give us a brief little descriptor about you and some of the organizations that you represent?
Okay, what's up, friends? Texas Cannabis Collective, been supporting this channel for a while. Austin, when did I meet you? 2018? It was on the internet.
Yeah, no, 18, yeah.
So in 2018, I wanted to get in the cannabis industry, and I saw a lot of activist stuff happening, not as much business stuff. So there were some activist events here and there, and we decided to throw our first business meetup in 2018. And this was the prerequisite to Greenlight Events. So we started throwing meetups to talk about to the business community, trying to learn about cultivation. You can hear thunder back here. We got the lightning going on. Let's do it. And trying to find the supply chain. This was before hemp was legal. This was before the federal hemp bill and everything. And so Greenlight is an events company that promotes cannabis business. We throw our own events, like the Texas Cannabis Roundup coming up August 17th. We do events for clients. We've had a lot of different client events through Texas, looking to do more. We also started in February of 2021. I started Texas Cannabis TV, which is an Instagram account essentially. And we post pretty silly content on there. We always joke that the dumber the content is, the more likes it gets. So, all the serious stuff we post never gets any engagement at all. So that's kind of what we do. Greenlight is the events angle. Texas Cannabis TV is the media platform. The Roundup is the event. They all kind of work together in unison. Greenlight is starting to take on other clients outside of the cannabis industry. Because one, it's easier to do stuff outside of the industry. I just wanted to meet people. Greenlight, we just wanted to meet folks. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. We do weed and whiskey on the side too. That's a client of mine. I'm helping J-Man build a dynamic weed and whiskey show, but I'm sure we'll get to that. But that's kind of it. We meet people. We connect folks. We're waiting. We're in the final days of prohibition. We connect the dots. I've been to mostly every facility in Texas that at least pretends they do cannabis. And sunlight's the best disinfectant. We're here to connect the supply chain. Really, the entrepreneur piece is what gets me the most excited because the economic opportunities, it shows the failure of the war on drugs. You have all these successful business owners that we're meeting and dealing with from other industries and even conservative guys, which I know we'll get to on the politics gets just comical. I mean, there's a lot of conservative men and women making money in the industry right now that are telling their legislatures. Like, I feel like 2 years ago, it was like we needed their voices and we kind of have them now and things still aren't happening. I mean, this last session is wild, but that's not my thing. That's yours. As a good activist told me sometimes no movement's decent movement for us.
Hey.
So,
hey, as long as we're not going backwards, right?
And from my point of view, we're not going backwards. I mean, Texas has a very robust situation with all the new things we're creating, whether it's synthetic or not. Again, that's not my debate, but we've got some of the most robust products, selections, and availability. I mean, these products are everywhere. A lot of them safer and more affordable than the teacup offers. We've got, again, you got to be keen to know what you're looking for. But a lot of these products that are CGMP, especially CGMP gummies made in Texas, I mean, these are safer and more affordable and have less potency issues because they have third-party testing. I mean, I hate to throw some shade here because I love our teacup license holders, but I heard from a good authority they've been having potency issues. And there's not a bunch of potency issues with the hemp program. So again, we're looking at safe, affordable, that patients need. And again, it's
easy, quick access as well.
Easy, quick access. And again, I'm not hating on the teacup program, but there's a lot of issues that, need to be resolved with that. Anyway, that's my stuff. We throw events. We like to party. We like to hang out. We're on the internet all day, got to take a break for the mental health because the internet's just a wild place to be, but we're here.
Hey, real quick, are you on Threads yet?
I did. I downloaded Threads today.
What do you think? Give us your input.
I'm not like I don't know. It's so new. I heard that it was rushed out because Twitter was like failing or whatever they was having problems. So they rushed it out. We're learning. I mean, I think I'm scared it's going to ruin Instagram because I've got my algorithm hacked to be a good, safe place to be. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Yeah. If you're mentally unhealthy on these platforms, you've got to hack your algorithm. Like, I could make so many jokes. Like if you see hot girls dancing, you got to just swipe away from it. If you sit there and stare at it, it's going to show you more of that. It's like, I don't want to see this all day, Right. So you got to hack the algorithm. I'm going to make that joke. That's the TikTok stuff. You can hack it on TikTok. If you just swipe away from that fast. So it's almost like you got to train your eye. If you see some stuff, even if you secretly are like, oh, I want to watch that, but you don't want more of that, you just got to say, get away from here, get away. So I'm scared that this Threads thing is going to mess with Instagram, but Gary Vaynerchuk explained it perfectly. You at least got to try it. You got to try it. You got to taste it to see if you like it or not.
Hey, we all did Clubhouse, right? Remember when Clubhouse came out and it was hot and we all got on the accounts and everything?
It got us through a weird time in life. And look, I love StreamYard. It's all about trying these things. Like you don't want to be caught, hey, what is Threads at the party? It's like, no, we're on the internet. The internet's here to stay. It's just getting started. The internet's only like 20 years old to be real. And everybody thinks, I'm old school. It's like, dude, if you're not on the internet dealing with these things, like you're not going to exist. And that's just, not saying I want to live in that world, but that's the world we live in. And everything's going e-commerce, even these brick and mortar stores. CBD is an ingredient. Like we learned that from the conferences. Why is there so many CBD stores everywhere? I don't know.
They're selling way more than CBD. Trust me.
There we go. Well, the flower is always going to be a local thing. You want to be able to go to farmers markets and you want to know where your flower is coming from. But the gummies and stuff, you order those online. So I rest. Let's talk about the collective. Let's talk about what's popping. The biggest online platform in Texas is the Texas Cannabis Collective by a mile. And
man, we need to have you more. We need to have you on more often, man.
No doubt. We thank you for the big plug.
Well, it's true. The numbers don't lie. We could fudge the numbers if we wanted to, but you don't have to fudge these. So I was happy to add y'all as a media partner for the Roundup. That's a flex. It's like, hey, it's digital real estate that you guys have taken up, and you carry the torch with pride. You could abuse it. You don't. You could plug your own stuff all day. You don't. And it's your platform really got a lot of people through the dog days of cannabis prohibition in Texas, building a community. Hey, showing up to these events. Hey, you're not the only one that thinks this. Putting out those news stories, having people's back, giving voices. Like, again, I'm old enough to remember when everybody was bashing on Trey from SWAT. Oh, why is he getting involved? Cops shouldn't be here. It's like, dude, that's who we need leading the charge, sharing these things to change minds.
That was a year ago.
When we're going against the sheriffs, when you're going against the Sheriff's Association in Texas, you need folks like that. And again, the collective, getting ratioed, but people get it. You beat them up the head enough with the real accurate information, they'll get it. So I'm a fan of it. I like to watch it. It's fun. I kind of refer to the collective as like the wildlings on Game of Thrones sometimes. Because you don't know what you're going to get. It's a mixed bag, but that's what makes it lethal in a good way. Yeah. Y'all can mobilize a group of people like you're going to do at the marijuana march again this year. For before
we get into the march and all of that big event, let's talk about the big news. Why we really wanted you on today of the Texas Cannabis Roundup. Okay. Tell us about the Roundup. What it's all about, where it's at, where people can get tickets, and all that good information.
You got me so worked up. You can tell I drank like a little too much coffee today. So, the Roundup, Texas Cannabis Roundup, is essentially a culmination of all of the green light events we've thrown. It got kind of chaotic of when are we going to throw an event? What are we going to do? So the Roundup, this is going to be our second annual one, and it's at the Longhorn Ice House, August 17th. It's a Thursday, and I apologize to folks that don't want to come out on a Thursday, but we don't want to compete for your attention on Saturdays. We think it's easier to compete for your attention on a Thursday night.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a fun time. It's mainly for the DFW community, but since a lot of these other cities don't have robust events like this, we are having a lot of people travel across Texas, a lot of folks from Oklahoma. I used to get nervous about people traveling to our events, whether it was going to be worth it or not. I know this one's going to be worth it. Again, it's very robust conversations from the legal aspect, from the innovation on the cannabis science side of things. And yeah, I mean, we're going to have like the top folks in the state from different nonprofit organizations, from the processors, from a couple of extractors, like a couple of the only extractors that even exist are going to be there anymore. Because I know it's easier to buy stuff from Oregon or Colorado that's already been extracted. We're having manufacturers there. Again, it's called the Roundup, and the goal is to round up the Texas cannabis executives, if that's what we're doing. We're rounding up the C-level people, we're rounding up the CEOs, the CMOs, the COOs, get them in the same room, find your buyer, find your distribution channel, find your store. We're going to have over 300 stores in the room when you count chains and stuff like that. I'm being conservative there. We'll probably have closer to 400. We'll see. I mean, we'll see what the numbers come in. Ticket sales have been doing good. Sponsorships have been doing good. We don't have maximum amount of space, so we're kind of being selective of who we want in there as well. I mean, I don't want 6 CBD stores right next to each other. Like, that doesn't benefit the sponsor, that doesn't benefit the community. In the back room, we've got a room that we're naming the Texas Hemp Experience. Again, we just love to brand things. I can't help it. You know, you smoke a J and say, oh, that sounds like a good idea. Nobody has that domain. We should go get it or something. And I didn't do it. We're not bringing it out, but it's like fully the back area. We want to be an immersive experience. I think we're going to have a rosin press coming. We're having some testing stuff coming. We're going to have an area where an investor, let's say you're just heard about the cannabis industry. You're not in the mix, but you want to come and learn. This is the perfect place. You're going to have the top legal opinions in the room. We got Richard Chang, Chelsea Spencer already committed to coming. They're going to talk and give out their free legal advice for an hour. And we got, again, the mainstream companies coming that do processing, that do packaging, that explain about labels. We'll have, testing's not sexy, but we'll have testing people there to talk about why it's important and stuff. We got a lot of doctors coming. We got Dr. Rozier, who was there last year. Shout out to him. We got Dr. Wendy Askew. Woo, we love her so much. Yeah. Shout out to Dr. Wendy Askew. And actually a couple more. I mean, there's a couple more. I don't want to mention them by name that have reached out. And it's just really a blessing to be able to have an event where doctors and lawyers like want to be at. Like, Austin, you remember when we had to like beg them to show up because they thought it was like a drug deal. It's like, what is this? And so again, we've manufactured credibility by just being honest. I mean, again, Greenlight, we're not the best events company. You know, we'll mess things up. We'll have to resize images. The posters will be wrong, but we'll fix it. You know, somebody really smart told me things will go wrong. It's about how you respond. So again, we're selling tickets this year. That includes food. It's like all you can eat food for a couple hours, chicken tenders, salsa, some like vegetables and things. So we're really trying to give a better experience. And also, I mean, when the events are free, people just don't take it as seriously. So I've said, if you're somebody that can't afford to come and need a ticket, please message me directly, especially certain activists that we want there, that we need there. It's just, you know, that's kind of what we want to go to. And we don't really make money on the tickets. We make more money on the sponsorships and the overhead. But, you know, most of the money we're making, we're putting back into the event with videographers and creating the content. And that's what it's about. The Roundup, I believe, to summarize, I could go on forever, is what we're looking to do each year, to build off of each year and to continue.
It's going to be, it's our annual get together. Like, let's come together. Let's make some toasts. Let's talk about you know, X, Y, and Z of what's going on, you know, as far as industry and culture and policy goes. And you know how it goes, man.
Let's kick out the bad people. I hate to say it, but the sunlight's the best disinfectant. Let's say you screw somebody over for 6 straight months. Well, everybody's coming to the Roundup, and if you screwed over everybody, we're all going to look. It's going to be like, oh shit, that person screwed everybody. He or she's here.
Yeah.
That's not our goal. We're not. But I mean, the legislators even said we have to police ourselves. Like these people that were packaging Skittles and shit, like Skittles and Doritos. Like somebody that's copying Doritos, marketing to kids, is like not welcome at the Roundup. Yeah. Like we're gonna like tar and feather them on screen. Again, I hate to say it, but like that's what it is, and it's like that's not what we're going for. Mm-hmm. But people like that aren't welcome, and it's like obvious. You can buy a ticket, but you're gonna quickly learn like, oh, look at my stuff. It looks like Skittles. It's like, dude, this is not your place to be.
Yeah, so, you better understand compliance. Yeah, you know, you better understand. You better be like, be interested in how to do things the right way, because that's what we're trying to do.
You're like, again, it's like I'm a limited government type of guy. Okay, I think a lot of people know that. I get rowdy on Facebook talking about it sometimes. But when it comes to stuff that you're giving your grandma, you're giving kids for epilepsy, like this is serious. Like it's serious. And I mean, we got one bozo that was happy he got an FDA warning letter. And like that guy's just not welcome anywhere. Again, this is not a public service. This is not government related. Like Greenlight Events is a for-profit entity that wants to create and cultivate creme de la creme resources for the community so people don't get screwed over. I mean, it's so hard to find good seeds, good fertilizer. It's so difficult because you can't just find it. It's not like people have, it's just a whole thing. The industry's not built out enough. I mean, Google reviews don't do it, you know, and then there's this thing where when somebody does screw somebody over, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want that bad juju. Oh, good vibes. Good. Let's manifest good energy. Oh, well, this and that's like, no, that guy or girl just like stole 10 grand from you. Like, you need to tell us all now, like Oklahoma blacklist, like blow it out. And again, I'm not trying to run the blacklist, but it's like, hey, you know, that's the good stuff. And
absolutely.
That's the roundup. Yearly.
We basically what you're saying is we want the people who are going to play by the rules, going to do it right, and not try to just get rich quick.
Right.
With that being said, we got to get ready to take our sponsor break. And when we come back, we'll continue with all your heated passion there, Daulton.
Can't help it.
So right after the sponsor break, folks, we'll continue talking about the Texas Cannabis Roundup coming up in August. And then we'll get out, of course, where it is going to be and what date and all that good information. And then we'll go into a few more events we got coming up too when we come back.
Howdy, Colt Power here. These days, many people are choosing to add CBD to their wellness routine. Why? Some like CBD for how it may help them with their focus. Others enjoy the way the plant compound may assist them with their sore muscles and relaxation. For me, CBD has been a game changer in keeping my old sports injuries managed so I can work out and be present for my family. If you've ever been curious about CBD, I invite you to check out our Texas-grown, Texas-made products at powerbiofarms.com. That's power, BIOPHARMS.com.
Thrive Apothecary offers an experience truly unique from anything else in Texas. A full-service cannabis solution that is doctor-owned and offers customers every level of cannabis legally available in Texas. From traditional CBD products to emerging hemp-derived THC edibles, smokables, and now medical cannabis. As a licensed medical cannabis provider, prospective patients from anywhere in Texas can book a sponsored online eligibility consultation to determine if they qualify for a medical marijuana prescription from the comfort of their own home. Plus, for Texas veterans, the first prescription appointment is donated by Thrive. Visit thrivetx.com for more information.
Welcome back to the Lone Star Collective podcast, the official podcast of the Texas Cannabis Collective, distributed on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and many more, to give Texans information regarding policy, industry, and culture. And now, back to this week's show.
Welcome back to the Lone Star Collective, the official podcast of the Texas Cannabis Collective. I'm joined this week by our co-host, Austin Zamhariri, and our special guest, Daulton O'Neil of Greenlight Events. We were talking about the Texas Cannabis Roundup, and real quick, let's put out there the location, date, and time, and all that information for everybody.
Guys, I took a chill pill through the commercial break watching those commercials. More calm. I'll try to stay relaxed. Need some emergency CBD. It's August 17th, around 5 to 9 at the Longhorn Ice House in Las Colinas, Irving area. I think it's technically Dallas. It's halfway in between DFW and Love Field, kind of for the Metroplex people. Pretty easy to get to for all the folks in the Metroplex. We try to do that. And tickets are on sale through Event High, a really cool ticketing software through the national cannabis industry, and TexasCannabisRoundup.com. Again, please be patient. We're not the best website builders. We're not the best social media people. We're just doing this by brute force, and we're just welcoming everybody there. Everybody's welcome. You know, we're a very actually inclusive group. Everybody's welcome at our events. It's just that people screwing over people that aren't. And even then, it's just one of those things. And so anyway,
I'll vouch for it. You're not going to find anybody there that isn't going to, I think, provide value within the networking sphere of Texas cannabis. There's, like you said, there's manufacturers, there's lawyers, there's, we'll probably have a banker there. We'll have, you'll have, social media, gurus. There's going to be a lot of different people that if you're interested in growing your brand and networking with other like-minded individuals within the space of Texas cannabis, I can already tell you there's not going to be another event like this one for the rest of the year. So, you know, if you're saving up for the 2024 roundup, like, cool, but like, you don't have to. You can go ahead and, you know, come through on August 17th and hook up with me, hook up with Daulton, hook up with Chris, and hook up with probably 100 other like high level cannabis entrepreneurs and stakeholders in the industry. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
we're
so.
happy to go to other events. Like, we don't always want to do them ourselves. We like to go, but it just, there's a lack. I make this joke about Lucas Evans, our friend doing the industrial hemp, the rope and the fiber. I make this joke because his stock keeps going up because nobody else is doing industrial hemp for rope and fiber and bioplastics. And every time I see him, I'm like, dude, you're even better because nobody's competing with you. And we don't look at as competition. We love to go to more events. We love to go support other ones. So, you know, I've been contacted about doing some stuff in Austin and Houston. And I mean, the truth is we like it. It's just we're Dallas people. And the farther away from Dallas we get, the weaker we become. So not really. I mean, we could go throw down there, but I think the roundup's going to be in Dallas for a little bit. I got lobbied by a group to bring it to Austin, and it probably belongs in Austin, but we're Dallas people. So at least 2024 will definitely be.
Dude, let's do it in Austin, baby. Come on, man.
We'll see. Maybe we'll do
it. Hey, let's do it big. You know, I don't see why we can't.
And people that want to do their own events, Greenlight is happy to help produce. We don't have to own the IP. People can hire us as a consulting deal to help share our tricks and trades and help find sponsors and speakers, because it's just easy to text these folks and invite them to the roundup. It's easy. That's what we do for people. So it's fun. I appreciate y'all giving us the platform to talk about it and being our, you know, official nonprofit partner for it. That's another really big thing we do. Is it's always had a nonprofit component to support it and have your money go directly into something that matters, creating media, talking to legislatures, the things you guys do, and the decriminalization movement. I mean, that matters. It's time, it's effort, it's gas, it's emails. You know, that's not free. There's no such thing as free lunch. And you guys put your money where your mouth is. If it wasn't for organizations like this, then companies like mine couldn't run around and talk about the business stuff. You know, I get on to entrepreneurs and business owners all the time. You know, in the middle of the legislative session, I'm talking to some of the biggest cannabis companies in Texas that don't know what's going on. And I'm like, oh, so you mean you're like investing in this building, but you don't know? And they're like, oh, well, no, that's a good point. I'm like, okay, all right, well, you probably need to donate money over here, do something over here. And the sadder thing is when you donate money to a group that ends up lobbying against what you need, which I'm not saying that's happening or not, but that does happen, especially in other states, you know, and there's some things going on. It's like a final frontier. We have such a big consumer base and the legal market, the liberty market, everything. So it's a lot of it's going on. But I just appreciate you guys having me on. The roundup's going to be lit, and come on down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Real quick, I wanted to mention we've got another event coming up that Austin and one of our other board members, Lauren, has been working on together with Mary J. Austin, would you like to fill us in on that upcoming event?
Yeah, we are collaborating with Mary J Smoke Shop or Mary J Shop in Austin off of Lamar Street. And we wanted to, you know, we've always had a great relationship with Jay and Francis, who run the establishment. And we wanted to have an event to maybe raise some money for, originally it was going to be just for us or somebody else. But then we kind of came across with cancer and figured that was what we really wanted to spearhead this into. And so, yeah, we came up with an 80s dance party because we thought that would be a really fun thing for everybody to get together and have a good time. And then all of the ticket sales, all of the vendor sales, everything is going to go to 2 different cancer patients who are stage 4 cancer patients. And directly to them, not to an association or an organization, but like straight to the cancer patients to help deal with medical costs.
When is that, Austin?
Oh, that is going to be Saturday. It's almost 3.5 weeks away. It's Saturday, July 29th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Mary J Social Club.
Nice.
You can, the link is in our bio. So if you are on Instagram, go to our bio. go visit Mary J Smoke Shop, and you'll be able to find ticket sales there. And we'll keep posting about that as we go along over the next 3 weeks. Because we have the Mary J Smoke Shop, it's called the Fuck Cancer 80s Dance Party, because literally I hate to use a strong word like that, but fuck cancer, right?
Fuck
I think
cancer.
that's
Absolutely.
Fuck
I don't
cancer.
think there's anybody that's going to be against that. If you've seen what cancer can do to people, then we're locked and loaded for that. And then obviously the roundup is going to be 3 weeks after that.
Yeah.
And so we're very excited for just our list of summer events. And then that's not even it. We have more after that.
It's just going to keep coming, and there's room. I mean, this is amazing. Again, fuck cancer. There's business stuff. There's advocacy stuff. There's things like this. It's really important. I don't like to really go hash the story. I know Gramps has a really powerful story on why he joined the cannabis advocacy group. I mean, mine is my mom had breast cancer, and I was getting her weed in high school, and I saw the weed helped her. And you ask a person on chemo, that needs a full meal. Like, I remember it. Like, the days my mom had weed, she would eat the full Chili's 2 for $2 thing. The days she didn't, she would like pick at it. And it's like, when you're fighting cancer, you need a full meal to go fight this stuff. And the chemo is what's killing people. And so, I mean, it's just really, it's really heartbreaking. I mean, we lose sight of this, but that's really what got me into the industry, and trying to use my voice to advocate, to honor her, and then also, create a living through it, because this is like a brand new industry that has agriculture, and it's helped so many people, and it's really irrefutable evidence. And if we were allowed to study it, it'd already be there. So, that's kind of all I'm going to say on that. Because fuck cancer, bro.
Absolutely.
And cannabis helps. And again, that's another reason for clean. We can't be giving cancer patients like shit with pesticides and heavy metals and and it's like this big THC race. It's like the space race and the THC race. It's like nobody wants to get that high. Like there's signs. I mean, I hate to call it our own industry, but like there's studies that show like if you're already predisposed to schizophrenia and high THC, like these are things we need to talk about more honestly, and self-regulate, because again, the government is so incompetent. Like they're not going to do it for us. So again, that's like the serious part of this. We can have fun at the roundup and we can do all these things, but it's really, the drug war, healthcare patients that are dying like today, not like in the future. They're dying like now. So anyway, we'll get off that. I know it's sad. It's all a peppy thing, but it's like I'm really happy to see y'all doing that. And Mary J's lit. All the parties she throws are always lit. So
yeah, it's always a good time at Mary J's.
And not just that, but we're also, like you mentioned earlier, as a nonprofit, like, well, what are we doing in the community that's making a difference? Well, we literally the last 5 months prior to June, we were engaged as anybody can possibly be engaged at the Texas legislature, for several different bills that were active during that space. But now that the legislature is over, what are we going to do? Well, we're certainly not going to sit around for another year and a half and wait for the legislature to reconvene or anticipate something is going to happen through a special session. They can't even figure property tax out. So like, how are we, you think cannabis?
I'm saying they're not capable. And when you go through phases where you're like mad at the government, and then you realize like, oh, it's run by people, they're incompetent. You watch like Parks and Rec and realize like that who's running. I mean, I've got people in New Mexico, like government, New Mexico government, Oklahoma's got it figured out a little bit more. But the people at these state agencies that are responsible for like navigating this, like don't know what the hell is going on. And like, that's who we're dealing with. And it's fascinating. This lawsuit in California, Catalyst versus Glass House Brands. Have y'all seen that?
Yeah.
It's about to be wild. Metrics about to be subpoenaed, and it's a whole thing. So if you're looking at, just Google, Glass House Brands lawsuit. That's like one of the largest cultivators in California. I mean, again, Texas is lucky in this weirdest way. We're not lucky because we're still in a really bad legal situation. But all these other states are literally battling each other, and we're going to figure out what works, what doesn't on the science side of things, and really learn. We should be in a good position, once it all works out. But who knows? Our legislatures could wake up and do something silly. So
who knows what they'll do. That being said, we got to get ready for another sponsor break. And then when we get back, we're going to talk about our upcoming, Daulton actually mentioned it earlier, our upcoming 2023 Texas Marijuana March and Freedom Festival in October. We want to talk about that, some of the problems we've been having on getting things set up with credit card payments and other stuff. But we'll talk about that right after this break.
Howdy, Colt Power here. These days, many people are choosing to add CBD to their wellness routine. Why? Some like CBD for how it may help them with their focus. Others enjoy the way the plant compound may assist them with their sore muscles and relaxation. For me, CBD has been a game changer in keeping my old sports injuries managed so I can work out and be present for my family. If you've ever been curious about CBD, I invite you to check out our Texas-grown, Texas-made products at powerbiofarms.com. That's power, BIOPHARMS.com.
Thrive Apothecary offers an experience truly unique from anything else in Texas. A full-service cannabis solution that is doctor-owned and offers customers every level of cannabis legally available in Texas. From traditional CBD products to emerging hemp-derived THC edibles, smokables, and now medical cannabis. As a licensed medical cannabis provider, prospective patients from anywhere in Texas can book a sponsored online eligibility consultation to determine if they qualify for a medical marijuana prescription from the comfort of their own home. Plus, for Texas veterans, the first prescription appointment is donated by Thrive. Visit thrivetx.com for more information.
Welcome back to the Lone Star Collective podcast, the official podcast of the Texas Cannabis Collective, distributed on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and many more, to give Texans information regarding policy, industry, and culture. And now, back to this week's show.
Back to the Lone Star Collective, the official podcast of the Texas Cannabis Collective. I'm your host, Chris Crisolia, and I'm joined this week by our executive director and co-host, Austin Zamhariri, and our special guest, Daulton O'Neil, talking about upcoming events. And one that we really want to talk about, not any more than the others, obviously, but the 2023 Texas Marijuana March and Freedom Festival coming up at Burnett Park in Fort Worth on October 14th from noon to 7 p.m. If you've not ever experienced the DFW Marijuana March and Freedom Festival, I highly suggest you put it on your calendar today, because it is an event you do not want to miss if you're even slightly interested in this industry. Would y'all agree?
It's like where I earned my stripes in like 2018, 2019. It was like the only thing going on. And it's really amazing kind of what happens in Fort Worth and the whole atmosphere. And yeah, I've loved to see the professionalism that has come the past couple of years, kind of post-COVID, and really welcoming everybody. You know, yeah, there's some hippies there, but you also get a lot of like the industry folks too, which I think is needed. But it's always great, you know.
Yeah, last year I think the crowd was probably the most diverse I've seen since I've been involved with it since 2018. And I mean, the elderly crowd keeps growing and growing and growing because that interest is growing, right? But yeah, it's probably, in my opinion, the premier public free event, family friendly, that happens in Texas, I think, as a whole.
I think I think that's unquestioned. 100%.
The one thing I will say is that it's the one opportunity that a lot of Americans get to exercise their First Amendment rights. And a lot of Americans, they're very quick to want to exercise their Second Amendment rights, and understandably so, we're Americans. But a lot of Americans are really disenfranchised from being able to exercise their First Amendment rights to gather and to protest for redress of their grievances. And I think that marijuana prohibition falls well within that confine of redressing our grievances with our government, state and federal government. And so getting out there, marching with a police escort through downtown to the Tarrant County Courthouse, everybody's consuming cannabis. It's a magical experience that I think every Texan, every American really needs to experience, because there's not a lot of opportunity for people to get out there and really, like, you know, shake their fist at the government, and we really
and actually have the support of the police officers that are there with you. That's the astonishing thing. You know, when I first got involved in it, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, Austin, but
you're good.
The first thing that thought went through my mind is, you know, I had a good friend of mine come down and join me for the first time I ever participated, right? And I was speaking that first year, so for support as well. But I was paranoid. I was paranoid to death, you know. And I told him, I said, anything you bring, we're not having anything left when we get in the truck to head home, you know. And it was for naught. I mean, there is nothing to worry about. It's understood that is a freedom of speech event. It's understood by the city, by the police department, everybody involved. As long as you don't get unruly and act a fool, nobody's going to get.
Nobody does.
Nobody's going to have a problem.
Right.
So,
and really, I want to kind of bring this back to you, Daulton, to the roundup, is that this is why it's so important to have events in Texas cannabis, because we got nothing this legislative session, right? The only thing that we can continue to do is keep this on the top of everybody's mind, right? Mm-hmm. Keep this fresh and keep coming together and strategizing and networking. And that's why I love the Cannabis Roundup so much. It was actually born out of an idea. I think that we've done so many events together that they all kind of are not the same, but you know, whether it was the Hemp Business Exchange or whether it was our monthly meeting that we did at the Longhorn Ice House, or now it's kind of morphed into the Cannabis Roundup.
Right.
You know, we've always been dedicated to presenting a space for people to come together to discuss what has at one time was controversial, is no longer controversial anymore, is actually, you know, everybody's figuring out how to make money, you know what I'm saying, and be compliant. And so I think that's what I appreciate about this venture, and specifically this relationship, Daulton, that you and I have had over the years, of continue to collaborate and push for this kind of gathering to happen. I love that you know, now it's been branded. It's a thing. It's something that people are getting excited about. You know, just tell me your experience, man. What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, you're right. I mean, how many hours have we just stayed up on the phone talking about bullshit? Where it's like, you know, and it's like, it was so, again, when I met you, I was like, I've been following this page for like a year. It's where I get on my news. And I'm like, wait, you're that guy? And you're like, yeah, I'm that guy. I'm like, fuck, dude, this is great. That was at the Mika Ringo political thing. What, 2018 or 2019?
2018, yeah. She was just running for a Texas House seat against Representative Capriglione. So,
I mean, dude, this is the origins of it. You know, we're Googling any cannabis event less than 150 miles away, like I'm at, you know, that's like the origin story of like, Daulton, why are you so deep into this industry? It's like, because I was resilient. Like I wouldn't stop. Like I just remember running up. I found one of my first business cards that just said, seeking opportunities and seeking knowledge in the cannabis industry. And it's like, I care. And man, it's great, Austin. And what we've learned too is we've got to step up, because nobody else is doing anything. Again, we're like benefiting from, I don't want to say we're benefiting from it, but it's like, you know, nobody else is really in a position to tell us, oh, you shouldn't make money or you shouldn't do this. Like we had one guy yapping on Instagram, why were y'all drinking beer there? This is a cannabis event. I'm like, bro, throw your own event. Like we're selling beer because people want to buy beer. Okay. Like I'm not telling you what to do here. You know, we're not trying to overconsume. Like we're not trying to overconsumption people for any type of anything. But again, it's like, Austin, you've had to step up and build out the collective, turning it over to the nonprofit, building out your board with amazing people that are leading the way. You know, we're trying to diversify our business apparatus to really provide good legal services, good financial services, good supply chain services, to have a thriving industry that's very compliant and that's very transparent and honest. Okay. If people are getting gouged for $3,000 a liter of CBD still, which was like happening in 2018 somehow, it's like, hey, you come to the roundup in the first 5 minutes, you come grab me, say, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I truly love to do. And the event might be too big this year to do, is when I meet somebody new, they're just like, oh, you know, we saw this online. I'm like, what do you need? What are you looking for? I listen to it and immediately just look through the room and say, go talk to that person, that person, that person, and keep moving. You don't have time to talk to all those people. That's really what, like, you know, gets me off in a way, is to be able to aggressively change the trajectory of somebody's time, even if they're introverted, even if they're scared. I will grab you, put you in a group text, and be like, now shoot. And one thing I'll always say is, we can connect you, but it's your job to do the due diligence, the vetting, to make sure you don't go wire some random person 10 grand. It's like, hey, this is what this person says they do. We can check their COAs. We could go to their facility, but like, we can't go investigate their heart and what they're trying to do. So get your contract. It's business at the end of the day. You can't just trust. People have this blind thing where, oh, it's in the weed industry. Everybody like it's semi-pro. Everybody love everybody. ELE. Like, no, that's not what's going on here. I hate that. And if anybody tells you, quote unquote, I want to work with everybody, you just look at them and say, no, that's not possible. We did Mythbusters on this, and we determined it's not possible to work with everybody. We tried that. We wanted to. It didn't work. And it's just everybody's got a different tribe, and you can be transparent and provide everybody services and be inclusive, but like, people are going to want to try to drive your boat. And that's something like we're proud about. Again, to the Roundup, we do it the way we want to. We learn every year, okay? But for people to yap, you should have done this, you should have done that. Hey, keep talking. It makes the algorithm better for us. Just keep yapping away. We're doing the best we can. Again, we're not like Live Nation throwing concerts, even though we might do some concerts, talking about family reunion stuff. We're going to do better each year. We're just going to keep trying hard. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's like us with the march. This year we've been tasked with taking the funds for like vendor fees and sponsorships and whatnot. And of course, with Texas Cannabis Collective being our name, we've had extreme difficulties with credit card processing companies, et cetera, just because cannabis is in our name. So, trying to get those vendor fees paid and whatnot. Which, by the way, if you are a vendor out there and you're interested, we still have booth spaces available, $250. We're extending the early bird pricing of $250 through the end of August because of all the difficulties we've had. It was July 31st, but we're going to extend that for another month. But we do have booth spaces available, $250. It's $420 after August 31st. And I can tell you, if you haven't been a vendor at the Texas Marijuana March and Freedom Festival, you want to be a vendor, because the exposure that you're going to get in North Central Texas and probably even wider than that, if you really want to be honest, is well worth that $250 to come and set up. Plus, you're going to sell product while you're there.
Yeah, no doubt. 1,000%.
It's underpriced attention, and what y'all are trying, you're not gouging people. You just want the right folks there. And I think we could at least sell 5 or 10 vendors at the Roundup. We'll do that on stage, like we did for Smoke and Fish last year. Like, hey, who's ready to sign up right now? We'll play a commercial, sign up right now, and you'll get some type of something. That's the cool thing. It's like,
I love the Roundup because, like, I really feel like we always have a plan in place, but man, it really is. I don't want to say I don't know if anybody's ever been to MJ BizCon, where it's just kind of like, this crazy experience where it's like a big networking party.
Organized chaos a little bit.
It's chaos, but like, it's a very miniature version of a condensed MJ BizCon in Texas together. The Longhorn Ice House, just so much love to those guys for continuing to have us back and showcase and help us showcase this event, because it really is like, look, y'all, after the event's going to end at like 9:00, we're going to probably be there till midnight.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we're set up to go to Red River after. Like, we play like, hey, if we want to go to Red River, it's a Roundup. Austin, I mean, the manager over at Longhorn Ice House just helped us sell a sponsorship. I think I texted you that. So It's like, dude, they like us, we like them. Again, I'm sad this will probably be our last year we can stay there. I mean, we might do smaller stuff there, but I mean, we're gonna max that place out, like with executives and all. And that's the cool thing. We're more and more people, new faces. Yeah. Like, I hate that the argument could be, oh, it's your eco chamber. It's like the same group of people. It's like, no, we got people from all these different organizations coming. I've been going to different events. Like the Dallas Startup Week, Big Texas Beer Fest. Like, I go to these events promoting our own to bring in these other communities into what we've got going. So it's going to be fun, Austin. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a little wild.
I can't wait.
It's going to be a little wild. And then it's going to lead up to the Marijuana March. So I know we're going to close a lot of deals for the Freedom Fest there too. And I really appreciate what y'all do there. Because again, without the activism and the decriminalization movement and what you guys do, it kind of I'm not going to call us phonies, but I hate the people that only focus on the business, that don't pay attention to the other aspects. So you guys really give us a chance to focus on what we do because y'all do what you do. And we're putting on for DFW. I hate to say it. There's no other way to say it. You know, DFW is a stronghold for this community. Austin, they've already had legal cannabis for a while, kind of, and they don't. It's different. Austin's a different market, and Houston's its own country. But in Dallas, you know, they say keep Austin weird, keep Dallas pretentious, and we don't. Not pretentious people, but we got there in Dallas, DFW. There's certain ways to do things, and we're playing into that mold. So,
dude, this place is like 5 Austins in one.
No doubt.
Like,
no doubt.
I mean, I love Austin and all, but like, you know, if you're just in Dallas, you know, you're missing out on Fort Worth, on in Frisco, and
Texas Live. I mean, did you see they named
right Arlington?
They named the backyard CBD Kratom cannabis dispensary.
Yeah, going into the stadium, it's right.
Crazy.
It's right in your face.
Crazy. Back when we did that Weed Maps event with Robert Head at Texas Live, we thought we were being like low key about it, and now we have like it says cannabis dispensary. But I appreciate you guys having me on again. Sorry I drank too much coffee, but it'll be every time. I can't help it.
We love you, Daulton. We love you.
Gramps. I'll give you a computer hug from here. One of these days we're going to get in the studio. One of these days we're going to get in the studio.
Yeah, for sure.
Zoom, StreamYard, Zoom, internet stuff. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. We appreciate you coming on. That's probably going to wrap us up for this show. You got any final thoughts, Austin?
No, this is, me and Daulton been working together for a really long time. We've been trying to put the Collective name and Green Lights. I mean, literally Collective and Green Light events have been attached to so many different events, in different things over the years that like I lose count, to be honest with you. And, to be a part of the Roundup and to represent, and it's such an honor, man. I'm so grateful for not only, just your business professionalism, your hustle, but like just really as a friend, man, always reaching out and always keeping that communication alive and strategizing nonstop. I love it, man. It's like a brother over here. That's why, I didn't really do a whole lot of prep for this podcast because
doesn't
it's
matter.
like having
it doesn't matter. I'll kiss you on that. I'll kiss you on that big Persian forehead of yours, Austin.
Big one, baby.
I'm looking.
That's a lot of kisses.
There you go.
I'm looking forward to you opening up for J-Man 2 on the comedy set. That's another thing behind the scenes. Maybe a little Christmas action.
Maybe. We'll figure it out.
We got to get those reps in the gym. Who's shooting with you in the gym, Austin? We'll see. I appreciate y'all guys. Check it out. Holler at me if you want to partner or anything on these events, and we'll see you at the Marijuana March.
Real quick, Daulton, before we drop it off, will you just give people a place where they can find the link to get to the Roundup?
Yeah, we're on Instagram, Texas Cannabis Roundup, TexasCannabisRoundup.com. We're working on updating the website right now because, again, we're not great, but just show up. The ticket link is there. Just Google Texas Cannabis Roundup. You'll find it. We're not hiding. And then Green Light, Texas Cannabis TV, you'll see us kind of reshare stuff there. But TexasCannabisRoundup.com, baby.
You gotta love it. Well, that's going to do it for this week. I want to thank our guest, Daulton O'Neil, and our co-host, Austin Zamhariri, for joining us, and all of you as well. Be sure you join us every week because we've always got great guests here on the Lone Star Collective. Thanks again.